How's everyone? Okay, I think I just switched my camera over back to autofocus because I just prefer autofocus instead of doing it manually because the lighting and everything. So it's cooperating today, so yay. It is also Saturday, by the way. I think I already said that. I don't know. But anyway, good morning. But everyone's having a lovely day so far. So far I'm doing pretty good. Still woke up with a stiff back because I'm apparently just sleeping soundly. That happens when I've worked a long, hard week, so so my body's just like trying to recuperate. In the meantime, it's stiff and annoying and I can't. Basically, I have to get up and moving and get my back unstiffened. But getting it moving and then also getting under hot water in the shower just feels relaxing. So I'm like, oh, thank goodness. We were supposed to leave like around 9 this morning. I was supposed to get up real early, but Ricky had stuff to do at the church. So this morning, so we didn't do it right away. Now I don't know when we're leaving because I wasn't told otherwise. But I got dressed, so I'm wearing my Bumblebee outfit today again. I guess I did this last week. I'm not sure if I did. Wearing my oversized yellow sweater, and then my black jeggings. So I look like a bumblebee. I would look like a sparkly bumblebee if these things, cheap little plastic things, stayed on the sleeves. These things that I told you about that I had on my sleeves. I still have them. I do plan on gluing them back on eventually. If I have the glue gun. But it's at the church. So I need to look for that. I need to write a note to say, hey, you need to look for this. Let's do that right now. To be affirmative. Even though I technically don't need to, like, yeah, I don't have kids' church the rest of this week, the rest of the month, I should say. Don't know whenever I'm gonna get my SD card back. It's been held a hostage since October by one of our friends. I was supposed to download pictures and then give it back to me, but person has forgotten and it's been MIA-ing lately, so I'm like, oh great, when will I get it back? Probably not until next year, honestly. It's kind of ridiculous, but I'm trying to be understandable about the situation. Can't go into details of that because I don't know all the details, and like I said, I don't want to spread rumors or anything, so I'm not that type of person to spread people's problems all over the internet. It's not my job to do that. People do that bad as it is, spreading things around, and then there's a misconception with everything, so it's like, I don't need to be that person. Lord, please forgive them. But they have no idea that some people do fully acknowledge that they're having issues and just being rebellious and revengeful, but then there's others that completely have no idea that they are the way they are. They're totally clueless that they're being rude or mean. And there's others that truly know what they're doing, fully know what they're doing, and just do it anyway, even though they know what's wrong. Shame on us when we do such things. Marker is like dead. Why do I keep it then? I have not edited yet. I am not going to take you guys along with because as far as whenever I leave, because obviously I shouldn't be filming in a nursing home. Okay. Privacy reasons and whatnot, so I'm not gonna do that. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know when I'm leaving. I don't know when I might have to film some more into the evening. I don't know what's going on. Today's just gonna be a kooky day. And it's also, it's kind of ugly out because it's foggy and overcast. And I think it's supposed to be cooler than it was even yesterday. Yesterday was kind of chilly. At least in the morning it was. So like I said, I have no idea what's going on or what we're going to be doing. I just know I need to get myself going and then eat and then figure out by then. So I guess I'll see you guys later because I have nothing else to really report to you guys. So stay tuned. Okay, so I'm back. Ate breakfast, which I didn't eat traditional breakfast because we don't have any eggs left. We're supposed to go to the grocery store Thursday, but poor mom was tired, so she just like said no, I'm not gonna worry about it. So we didn't have very much eggs left, and then Zachary ate the last one this morning with his rice and soy sauce. So he didn't eat the traditional breakfast either, but I'll give you a hint to what I ate. Basically, it's my favorite food of all time. That's what I ate. Not a squishmallow, but what the squishmallow represents is what I ate this morning. So I know people think I'm crazy for eating not a traditional breakfast, but who cares? As long as I ate something. Anyway, I don't know, because Ricky kind of left later than he would normally do. But I guess because the people that is helping him couldn't come at a certain time. They could only come at certain times of the day. But anyway, this morning he's doing the candy situation. Oh my goodness. Oh, excuse me, guys. It's gonna be one of those days I'm gonna be really tired. I'm like, lovely. But it is everybody's favorite time to vlog. It's Bible time, y'all. You already know. And also, it's really cold up here, so I'm in my, I was gonna say snuggie? I think it's called a snuggie. Of course, it's not the official snuggie, but it's the artificial version. But anyway, it's very soft, and I have had this for years. And I absolutely love it because it's the fuzzy type ones. I like the fuzzy ones. So, and some of my church friends gave me this, and it was very thoughtful of them when they thought of me. So anyway, I am actually in First Chronicles now, which is talking about all the descendants. Oh my gosh, no offense. I know it's important to know who begot this, but it's like all these names I have to try to pronounce, and I don't know. It kind of reminds me of like history class where I'm just like, it's not my interest whatsoever. Certain things intrigue me, but certain things I'm just like, oh, this is so boring. And so there are times where I get bored in the Bible, and that does bore me sometimes, trying to say whose family tree is who, and I'm like, but at the same time it is important because then we learn who came from who, basically. So it does come important, especially if you're doing like a Bible quiz or whatever, then those little small details do come in handy. But otherwise, it's just like, can I get to the good stuff now? It's like, can I get to the good part? This is not fun. But anyway, we're in Exodus chapter 16. So this is talking about manna and quail from heaven. So we're going to talk about when the Israelites were going to complain that they had no food, and then God brought them food come down from heaven, which was manna and quail. Let's get started into this, shall we? Then the whole community of Israel set out from Elim and journeyed into the wilderness of Sin, between Elim and Mount Sinai. They arrived there on the 15th day of the second month. So the second month, I guess that would represent February 15th. I assume that is the same calendar as it is today. I'm not sure if the calendar back then was different than it is now. I'm not quite sure about that. 1 month after leaving the land of Egypt, there too, the whole community of Israel complained about Moses and Aaron. Of course, you're going to complain. A little sidebar called stressed out. It happened again. As the Israelites encountered danger, shortages, and inconvenience, they complained bitterly and longed to be back in Egypt. Guys, we still do this a lot nowadays. Even though God provides us with a lot of things, we're still not satisfied with the things we have. And that is sad. Especially here in the U.S., a lot of us, I'm not saying all of us, because there are some poverty and homeless and people like that struggle day after day. And some people just barely get through things. Like my mom, back in the day, she struggled a lot when we were kids. Being a single mom and being on welfare and stamps and all that other stuff. She struggled, but she managed and she persevered and she had faith in God that she was going to get delivered. And look at us now. We live in a great home. I mean, don't get me wrong, we do have financial problems at times, but we are stable enough where we're getting by. And we got plenty of food, we got plenty of clothing, we've got plenty of, I'm going to say, junk in our house. And even then, we're trying to declutter ourselves. So we've accumulated a lot of things throughout the year, and I can't thank God enough. So we have to look past what we can't have and say, Lord, basically thank God for everything that we have right in front of us. We need to acknowledge that sometimes instead of complaining about the things we don't have. Anyway, let me get back to my story. They didn't really want to be back in Egypt. Of course not. We'd be slaves again. They just wanted a life to get a little easier. And the pressure of the moment, they couldn't focus on the cause of their stress. In this case, lack of trust in God. Sounds like a lot. Still, history keeps repeating itself. Instead, they could only think about the quickest way of escape. When you're in a tight spot, do you complain or carry on? Focusing on God's power and wisdom. Excuse me. Oh, goodness gracious. Focusing on God's power and wisdom can help you deal with the cause of your stress and possibly overcome it. If only God, or if only the Lord will killed us back in Egypt, they moaned. There we sat around pots filled with meat and ate all the bread we wanted. But now you have brought us to the wilderness to starve us all to death. Then the Lord said to Moses, Look, I'm going to rain down food from heaven for you. Each day the people can go out and pick up as much food as they need for that day. I will test them in this to see whether or not they will follow my instructions. On the 6th day they will gather food and they will... Excuse me again. And when they prepare it, there will be twice as much as usual. So Moses and Aaron said to all the people of Israel, By evening you will realize it was the Lord who brought you out of the land of Egypt. In the morning you will see the glory of the Lord, because he has heard your complaints, which are against him, not against us. What have we done that you should complain about us? Then Moses added, The Lord will give you meat to eat in the evening, which was quail, and bread to satisfy you in the morning, which was the manna. For he has heard all your complaints against him. What have we done? Yes, your complaints are against the Lord, not against us. Then Moses said to Aaron, Announce this to the entire community of Israel. Present yourselves before the Lord, for he has heard your complaining. And as Aaron spoke to the whole community of Israel, they looked out toward the wilderness. There they could see the awesome glory of the Lord in the cloud. Then the Lord said to Moses, I have heard the Israelites' complaints. Now tell them, in the evening you will have meat to eat, and in the morning you will have all the bread you want. Then you will know that I am the Lord your God. That evening vast numbers of quail flew in and covered the camp. The next morning the area around the camp was wet with dew. When the dew evaporated, a flaky substance as fine as frost blanketed the ground. The Israelites were puzzled when they saw it. "What is it?" they asked each other. They had no idea what it was. And Moses said to them, "It is food the Lord has given you to eat. These are the Lord's instructions." Sorry, I was hearing someone's voices. My parents are downstairs. Anyway. Okay. Each household gather as much as it. And Moses told them, "It is the food the Lord has given you to eat. These are the Lord's instructions. Each household should gather as much as it needs. Pick up 2 quarts for each person in your tent." So the people of Israel did as they were told. Some gathered a lot, some only a little. But when they measured it out, everyone had just enough. Those who gathered a lot had nothing left over, and those who gathered only a little had enough. Each family had just what it needed. Then Moses told them, "Do not keep any of it until morning." But some of them didn't listen and kept some of it until morning. But by then it was full of maggots and had a terrible smell. Ew. Moses was very angry with them. After this, the people gathered the food morning by morning, each family according to its need. And as the sun became hot, the flakes they had not picked up melted and disappeared. On the 6th day, they gathered twice as much as usual, 4 quarts for each person instead of 2. Then all the leaders of the community came and asked Moses for an explanation. He told them, "This is what the Lord commanded. Tomorrow will be a day of complete rest, a holy Sabbath day set apart for the Lord. So bake or boil as much as you want today, and set aside what is left for tomorrow." Another sidebar called a time out with God. The Israelites were not supposed to work on the Sabbath. Even cooking food was viewed as work. God knew that the busy routine of daily living could distract people from worshiping Him. He wanted His people to rest from their labors and focus on Him. It is so easy to let school, friends, and other activities crowd our schedules so tightly that we don't spend regular time with God. How do you guard your time with God? I always set aside, usually before I go downstairs, to read at least a chapter each day. That's just me. And then, of course, during the day, I pray. Basically all throughout the day. I mean, it's not every single day, but I try to put forth the effort. So they put some aside until morning, just as Moses had commanded. In the morning, the leftover food was wholesome and good, without maggots or odor. Moses said, "Eat this food today, for today is a Sabbath day dedicated to the Lord. There will be no food on the ground today. So you may gather the food for 6 days, but on the 7th day is the Sabbath. There will be no food on the ground that day." Some of the people went out anyway on the 7th day, but they found no food. The Lord asked Moses, "How long would these people refuse to obey my commands and instructions?" They must realize that the Sabbath is the Lord's gift to you. That is why He gives you a 2-day supply on the 6th day, so there will be enough for 2 days. On the 7th day, you must each stay in your place. Do not go out to pick up food on the 7th day. So the people did not gather any food on the 7th day. The Israelites called the food manna. It was white like carudo seed, and it tastes like honey wafers. Then Moses said, "This is what the Lord has commanded. Fill a 2-quart container with manna to preserve it for your descendants. These later generations will be able to see the food I gave you in the wilderness when I set you free from Egypt." Moses said to Aaron, "Get a jar and fill it with 2 quarts of manna, and put it in a sacred place before the Lord to preserve it for all future generations." Aaron did just as the Lord had commanded Moses. He eventually placed all it in the Ark of the Covenant in front of the stone tablets inscribed with the terms of the covenant. So the people of Israel ate manna for years until they arrived at the land where they would settle. They ate manna until it came to the border of the land of Canaan. The container used to measure the manna was an omer, which was 1/10 of an ephah. Probably said that wrong. It held about 2 quarts. So thank you, Lord, as always, for your living, breathing word. So now we're going to get into ancient wisdom. I think we're on day 9, which is titled "Work It Out." "Go to the ant, you slacker, observe its ways and become wise." Proverbs chapter 6, verse 6. We live in a country that was built through hard work, but it is increasingly occupied by lazy citizens, people who don't want to work or know how to work. This is not a new problem. Almost 3,000 years ago, when Solomon, the wisest man who ever lived, wrote down his wisdom, much of what he had to say was about work. He wanted to show how essential it is that a strong work ethic be woven into the fabric of who we are. He knew that we needed to hear two things very clearly. Work is good, and laziness is foolishness. I totally agree with that. Is this a concept of as current as today's news, or what? A company can hardly hire the people it wants if it doesn't pipe in the right kind of music, paint the walls the right color, and give them a state-of-the-art workout facility. Many corporations struggle to limit internet access as they find their employees secretly wasting hours behind closed doors, surfing the net and having fun, but not doing much of anything productive. Still, anyone looking honestly and objectively at themselves can see that life without work becomes empty and meaningless. Work is not supposed to be the thing we have to do so we can do the things we want to do. Work is the joy of life, laboring, investing ourselves, spending ourselves. Someone may say, wait a minute, I thought God cursed work. You've been reading the book of Genesis, haven't you? Well, read again in the first part, because while God did not curse work in Genesis chapter 3, after the fall, he first said to Abraham and Eve, be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, and subdue it. Rule the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, and every creature that crawls on the earth. And that's in Genesis chapter 1, verse 28. The familiar Bible term for this is dominion. When God finished giving these work instructions to Adam and Eve, he declared all of his pronouncements and activities of that day very good, in Genesis chapter 1, verse 31. Yes, every sin entered the human experience. God stepped forward and declared a judgment on work. And Genesis chapter 3, verses 17 through 19, saying, in effect, from now on, this good thing that I created called work is going to take sweat to make happen. But listen, just because God said that work would be hard doesn't mean he said work could no longer be good. All through Scripture, the value of work is championed and applauded. The thief must no longer steal. Instead, he must do honest work with his own hands. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 28. The laborer is worthy of his wages. 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 18. Paul went so far as to say, if anyone isn't willing to work, he should not eat. 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 10. And in one of the clearest verses of all, he said, whatever you do, do it enthusiastically, as something done for the Lord and not for men. Colossians chapter 3, verse 23. Work is part of God's original design. It is not a waste of your time to clean the basement or return phone calls or assemble products on an assembly line or write a term paper or rake leaves. Work is good. Wisdom talking. If your boss could fill out an anonymous survey right now on your work habits, how would you rate on a scale of 1 to 10? Okay, my boss is my mom, so so I'm going to try my best here with this. We'll do what is needed to get the job done. We'll do what is needed to do the job done. I would say my mom thinks I do pretty good overall. I'm not saying I'm perfect because I'm not her. She's doing it a lot longer than I have. I've only done it is it going on 3 years, I think. So I think I've improved since the very beginning of this. So I would say yes, I've done better. We'll work smart and hard. We'll work smart and hard. I try to. I'm not saying I'm always good at that. Sometimes I do it that's not so smart, and sometimes I get kind of relaxed about it. So it is a bit hard on with that question. We'll consistently go above and beyond the call. Sometimes. I can't say I do it all the time. For the most part, I try to do my very best, like I said. What other questions about your job applies? I don't know. But that's something you guys can think about. So we'll do what is needed to get the job done. Do you guys do that? Or if you guys are retired, obviously when you were working, were you consistent with that? Will you work smart and hard? Another question you could think about. Will consistently go above and beyond the call? You guys like that? And if you have any other questions about your job applies, obviously you can think of other questions you can think of, but I'm not that type of person that can think of things like that. So I don't know. So yes, I don't know what I'm gonna get into, so I'll see you guys later because I have no idea what's going on at the moment. And Ricky's back, so we'll see what's going on. Hey guys, I am home, as you could tell, because I'm filming obviously. But anyway, I started technically editing before I left, but it was gonna be another like 17 or so minutes of filming, and I didn't want the internet to be left on, my computer to be left on, even though no one's gonna be here, but nonetheless, I didn't want to leave it on. So I just exited, and I was like, well, I'll start over when I get home. So I'm home now, and I'm editing the video currently of yesterday's video. Don't know when I'll get around to today's. I guess I'll do it Monday since I'm off Monday. So that'll be a filming day, so I'll edit today's video Monday. Anyway, today was pretty good. We visited our neighbor. First we stopped at a diner, which was pretty cool. I like old style diners, and we went to the one in, I think it was Greencastle we stopped at, and it was pretty nice. So got my typical chicken strips. I'm pretty predictable when it comes to ordering things. I'm just like, chicken strips and cheeseburgers. Pretty basic, but I mean, occasionally I might get like fried chicken. That's pretty much the same thing. It's just chicken strips is without the bone. But anyway, I might flare it up sometimes. Here's my trick to doing things. I don't like spending, even though technically I'm not the one spending the money. My parents usually pay for it, but I get the cheapest thing on the menu, which is usually chicken strips. Chicken strips are usually like around $10, okay? $9.99. And that's what it was. And you get two sides. So I got macaroni and cheese, which was really good. Really good mac and cheese. And then I also got french fries. Okay, so that was a cheap meal. My soda was a little bit more because obviously soda goes up in price. But anyway, that's what I got. I try to get like the cheapest thing on the menu that I like. So that's why I usually get like a lot of the same things over and over. Not only do I like it, but it's cheaper. Homegirl's thinking ahead, you know? Anyway, sorry, I am thirsty. I need to take a swallow here. Refreshing. Anyway, so we visited our neighbor for like an hour and a half. We sang songs to her, let her open her presents. We had given her 2 bottles of lotion. She likes Fig Newtons, so we got her Fig Newtons. And we got a bunch of like sweaters and a pair of sweatpants. So she's all ready for the this winter. So we gave her a card. We all wrote in it. She was so grateful. She misses us and misses living across the street. But you know, she would be living alone if she was still here, and she has moments of falling over. So her family, that's why her family moved her up in Pennsylvania, closer to them and close place that they can afford, and she can get the help that she needs. So she's getting the help she needs. She just doesn't like exactly, you know, living. She had more freedom in her home, and more space, because she lives in a smaller, it's like I would say less than half of my room is probably the equivalency of her room. So they're, you know, nursery room homes are very small, and so I can understand not having the space or wanting to roam around more. But then again, she is getting 24/7 care. all that she needs. Make sure she's taking her medication, you know, getting all her clothes are clean. Like, everything is being taken care of. She's getting fed, so she does see some positive moments. And thank goodness Mom came this time, because for me and Ricky, it's kind of hard to encourage people, not all the time, but I feel like the last couple times we weren't able to encourage her very well. So Mom has a way with words. God has blessed her with a mind of wisdom and what to say and to encourage, how to encourage people. I'm not quite there yet. She has a way of words, and so she was able to break that spell and able to encourage her. So she was very appreciative. Every time we leave her, I feel bad, but she is getting the help that she needs, so I'm so grateful to the Lord for that. Anyway, after that, we dropped Ricky. We came all the way home, or all the way to Hagerstown, I should say, and dropped Ricky off at his work. He had a few things to do at this distribution center. And then Mom and I and Zach went all the way to Aldi's in Sharpsburg through all the traffic. Crazy Saturday weekend holiday vibes going on. It's just crazy. I don't like it. I'm used to doing like shopping on the during the weekdays instead of the weekend. I don't like shopping on the weekdays because crazy people are out and about. Of course, around this time of the year, it's even worse. It's like, oh my gosh, why is there so many crazy people? And you know, they're spending millions of dollars. It's like, I mean, yes, our economy keeps going, but it's like, really? Why do we guys spend all the money on every little thing, especially things that we've already bought, and yet we got rid of last year, so let's just rebuy it again. I don't understand some people. I really don't. It's just like us as humans are, I don't like using this word because it's not very nice, but we as humans are stupid. We seriously are. So, pardon my French by saying that, but really, we are. It's the truth. We waste, we constantly mess up and are constantly falling apart and constantly doing things we know we shouldn't do, and yet we do it anyway. Shame on us. And I'm saying that about myself as well, because I realize I am stupid sometimes, doing stupid things, and I'm like, oh my gosh, please, Lord, please forgive me. Anyway, going past that, after that, we picked Ricky back up, and then we came home, and then, oh yeah, we also, before we went, to the restaurant, and I forgot, there were two places we went, before we went to Greencastle and Hagerstown. We stopped and got gas at Sam's, and then we went because Sam's is cheaper. Okay, I don't know why, but it is, than the other places. But then we went to Labor's. Mom got her new desk. We ordered it, well, we bought it, and then Ricky bought it for her birthday, basically. It's a birthday present. So we're gonna get rid of one of the desks downstairs that we've had for so long. It's getting trashed, and then we got a new one. So, cause that thing was falling apart, and every time we try to move it, it's like, whoop. So we can't really sell it. We're just gonna trash it. Anyway, so then we went to the restaurant, and then I already told you guys what happened. So that was our day. We got through it. It's dark now, so, you know, I'm just gonna eat a little bit because I had a big lunch, just eating basically finger food, and then editing, and then I'm gonna watch some thing on YouTube, I guess, because I don't have Prime on my phone, so I'm probably watch YouTube on that. So that was my day. Hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, keep on smiling, stay positive. I love you guys. Jesus loves you, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.